fair. A lot of damage coming out with that bulk up. The dupe pick, pretty fair. Nice hold it down goalie. Can be a little squishy at times, so I'm a little worried about that. But on the other side, you're going to have Restel coming out, so not a ton of damage on that one, but a lot to be concerned with.
Bear in mind, it's not technically Restel, right? This is Rasmus goalie for Reject, where we have Estelle Julie, like the Frostfire forward. And then on the other side, right, this is Dubu Era Kazan, and one thing that I'm not particularly fond of is Era with Kazan. Era does like to, beam up that Kazan, make sure he has size to play. Feels like they kind of have this counterintuitive play that they want to execute, because Kazan likes to play a lot more for that open presence, whereas Era wants to keep shoving it in this corner.
That is fair. One of the other things as well is Kazan versus Rasmus. A little bit of friendly fire there. It's going to be be the boss versus the employee on that one. So
Kazan getting some revenge for his sister. We're just going to drop that Clarion lore, whatever, right? I think overall, going back to that damage point again, we might be a little lower on knockback, or sorry, a little bit lower on damage and stagger KOs, but I think the amount of knockback KOs we're going to see is pretty high, right? Estelle Julie being very fond of those knockbacks, Rasmus being able to confirm off of knockbacks really well, this Magical Maelstrom, the Tofu Fortress being very threatening abilities to actually deal with. So we're going to see a lot more of just these non-stagger KOs, and that's one thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that is going to be a lot of fun to look at. We are about to get into the game here as well, so wrap up all of that and getting right into it as soon as we can. I thought it was going to load a little faster, but I have to wait it out there. But there we go. Going to tab again real quick so we can actually see all those starting awakenings. Going to be back up all around the world there. Pauldrons on each of the goalies. So a little bit of damage coming out here from the start, but blazing right off the start. Wolfman takes a lot of damage. Crooked Leverage does get it forward. The clear is not fully complete there. Wolfman trying to get it all the way across. Reject rush all the way to the top. Not quite going to get it. The log, the Witching Beam gets a double. Nice last second redirection on that one. A lot of damage on Brando as well. Killed by First Blood. And that is going to be a power play here, but it's stalled out beautifully here by Red Side. Raby's going to the top. Crystal Thorns as well. Gets it nice and through, and now Julie is back on the field. The clear is complete, and only one is still standing for Blue Side here. Nice somersault, though, is able to save it.
Yeah, Asian not punished in the corner there, and Raby's almost punished by that Magical Maelstrom. They try to continue clearing this to pass up, and Wolfman playing this top side a little dangerous with the size. Reject has size of her own, and they find the clear on this bottom side, and it's stalled a little bit, but there's still one barrier to work with for Pudash's progeny.
Yeah, also that flip on Estelle, that is one thing that I'm looking out here, but that can actually happen. With a great Crooked Leverage strike there. One of the Kazan classics. You see the goalie strike it, you hook it from him, you hit it right back at him. Not a whole lot they can do, really well executed.
Yeah, hook strike, the Wolfman classic as we may continue to see this game. And we do see an interesting opener here, nearly finds the kill. Flip nearly converting that, and it's a double barrier on the opposite side this time, but can the members of Pudash's progeny re-answer there? And Wolfman in melee with the flip, but doesn't opt to use it as Reject is forced to use her own. Flip forced out of Asianer, goes to the opposite side. Wolfman trying to follow, keeps his flip for now, and this open net is a little dangerous for the members of Pudash's progeny. Good clear out by Asianer, once again, good roll, and Wolfman continues to send it forward, bounces off the middle with that flip, and that flip gains almost nothing. It's just a little bit of space, and maybe they can make use of this space.
Yeah, Wolfman's trying to get into the corner with the ultimate, but unfortunately doesn't quite get the connection. The core flip from Era is really nice, but intercepted by Raby's Brando as well, using the flurry there. Crystal Thorns comes out, piercing shot. Wolfman, though, with the strike into the corner, is able to win these strike wars with that increased range. Gets the barrier as well, really nicely done, dribbling it all around, but Brando does get the steal away, the dash as well. Beautiful read from Brando onto Asianator, but the clear is complete, and unfortunately for Reject, the pendulum swings a little bit too low, and Wolfman just found the tiny pixel up the top to squeeze that core through for goal number 2 for Pudash's progeny.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say size would save that, and yeah, it definitely would. Both this Kazan and this Rasmus are going to be looking so much for the size, and I feel like this first draft, if this Kazan can actually get into a good position, it's going to do so much for the members of Pudash's progeny, but maybe the members of Jet's Puppy Girls is not going to allow that, as Brando finds that first kill there, flip into the corner, stopped by Asianator. They find this clear out, forcing the death touch out by Reject, looking for the strike war for Brando, and Brando doesn't find this barrier. Finally it does, off of a failed Sad Boys attempt there. It goes all the way around, and Cliff respawns. Maybe this is enough time bought by the members of Pudash's progeny.
May be, but the Black Hole does do a lot of damage as well to Brando. The Crystal Thorns, the Tofu Fortress all coming out. PUP the Prodigy rushing across the field trying to get things done, but it is stalled out. A lot of cooldowns were invested in that. Now it's in Asianator's courts again. The piercing shot, though, goes wide. The Maelstrom is able to cover the core, and the strike missed by Rabies, unfortunately. The swing from Rejet, the Whiplash as well used, not actually getting the connection. The Rose Warp does come out. The dribble up to the top. Shot to confirm from Rabies on the failed cross from Asianator. Cliff looking for the pass. Asianator giving the pass. Fortunately, Estelle does exist, and this is the opportunity to reverse sweep the set here for the puppies.
Definitely, and honestly, I was kind of shocked to see that Rabies was even in range for that. I really thought that Asianator had that pass, and I'm pretty sure he thought the same thing, but now it's the members of PUP's progeny in bit of danger as they lose that first barrier and they're kind of cut in this closed position. Good roll out by Asianator. There's that Dutch sending into the top corner. A great hit stun there to secure that second barrier. Great flip out by Rejet, and it goes right past the Tofu Fortress. Jet's Puppy Girls tying it up.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely the Rasmus there, just MVP of that point, gets the barrier with the crazy angle. I mean, with help from the team as well, but that angle was insane. The goal to follow it as well, insane. Brando coming out with the flurry, gets a barrier up at the top here. Wolfman going for a dribble, has the core flip as well, but isn't going to get a chance to use it just yet, and a lot of pressure is finally put aside. Wolfman finds one barrier, Clip not able to win the strike war for the second, but it goes around anyways. Nice find there by PUP's progeny, ready to take the 5th point here in front of the net, and Wolfman with the leverage into strike is going to take that. PUP's progeny not allowing the reverse sweep.
Looks like the leverage that Rasmus had over Kazan's sister is not enough for Kazan to hit him back with the crooked leverage of his own. And, well, Dubu is the MVP, and looking at where the Kazan is relative to the Rasmus, this Demolitionist could be picked up, so maybe a deny, actually, from Brando V2. But no, it's just Asianator who picks it up himself, and looking at that, that is a Powerhouse Pauldron's Demolitionist.
That is going to be a lot of size. Maybe looking for a Might of the Colossus angle. Also, of course, does deny it away from the Rasmus really nicely. Era also denying aerials from that Estelle. Is going to be an Orb Dancer, which isn't the worst. It did recently get nerfed, but that burst of speed can be really nice. Super Surge on Julie, very controversial. But I think Brando does really like that one. The extra damage that it does give actually is quite nice for securing kills and just getting extra damage. Like right there, could have thrown them off, but Asianator is aware of these things. He's not going to be caught off by just the extra dash range. Wolfman, really nice play to get the top barrier. Crystal Thorns, though, answers on the other side, and we are back in a diagonal barrier situation. Wolfman going down to the bottom, the Death Touch as well, finding it. The Pendulum Swing not able to find the clear there, and the piercing shot countered by Tofu Fortress. Great. Fortunately, sends it right back over to Wolfman, and Wolfman is able to secure a goal.
Yeah, unfortunately played there by Rabies. She had the vision, but unfortunately couldn't complete the play. And one thing I do want to talk about is this aerials on Era. One thing, especially both for Era and Mako, and specifically for Era in this game, is that 2 dash range threshold. For a lot of these characters that rely on haste, the 2 dash range threshold is very, very lethal to deal with, and she's already set up for that. There's only one more left in the pool. The fact that it's there is already scary.
Yeah, we also see the kill answered there by Brando, able to pick up Wolfman, who is just a little too close to the edge. Flurry comes out. The point is very stalled, which slightly favors the red team here, as Estelle gets on slightly sooner. A lot of damage with a piercing shot. Rose Orb combo there onto Cliff, but Cliff is going to reset back to the blue side of the goal here, pick up an orb, and is in pretty good order there. Use the core flip to get it all the way around. Wolfman looking to intercept it. Rejet has the flip as well available. Might have to burn it soon, but not quite yet. There it is against Era's NATO there. Really nicely done. Brando dribbling across the top. Actually gives the control back over to Cliff, and is fighting to get it in this corner. Rose Orb not enough to get it through. Rejet, nice whiplash, able to prevent the barrier from going down, but in the end it is still going to. Just solid, continuous aggression here from the side of PUP's progeny, as they're able to keep the core on the other side of the field for what feels like forever. Great clear, but it's answered. Core flip from Asianator, countered by a core flip from Brando, who gets the barrier all the way to the Sad Boys there. I was worried for him for a second, but this is the opportunity to score a point here. They will not quite get it just yet. The somersault is really nice. Brando gets the strike in, but it is defended. Piercing shot gets it to the corner. Strike roll won by Asianator time and time again. Pendulum swing as well. Crystal Thorns whiffed into the corner. Unfortunately, Death Touch hooks it away from Wolfman's hook there. Great read from Rejet. Piercing shot countered by a strike from Cliff, and Wolfman's going to send it in there with the Kazan ult.
Yeah, I think MVP of that definitely Asianator, finding strike war after strike war after strike war win, and he just found the exact position he needed to clear it. And with that in mind, that just meant that Cliff and Wolfman could have as many opportunities as they want to. And I will say, it does look good, but we were in this situation before, right? The members of Jeff PUP Girls nearly brought it back. And it's not looking to be the same right now with how dominant Hudash's progeny are playing here.
Yeah, but that is a core flip down from Cliff. That's the opportunity that Jets team needs in order to get this done. But the core stalls out and Brando's low on health, so there's not too much opportunity. It does manage to sneak a barrier, though. Fighting for his life, though, as he just gets hit by Wolfman. But Rabies is able to finish on the top side, open up the goal. Regen playing forward, giving Brando a chance to regen, and Brando, basically full health now, is able to go forward. Black hole is coming up, so watch for the damage from that one. Popped by Cliff to damage Brando. Wolfman with the follow-up, dodged by Brando. Rejet trying to get around Rose Warp, core flip potentially about to come out, but Brando goes off the field and shot takes it. And something about Jets Puppy Girls, they just don't like losing 2-0. So, I mean, I wouldn't either, but something about this team in particular, they let them get to 2, and then they start the reverse sweep.
Yeah, something, and I'm still not sure what. One thing I do want to point out that we haven't really talked about yet is how much Rejet actually has, right? Between PUP, Glass Cannon, and Powerhouse Pauldrons, there are times where she can actually just red core the core if it is just a strike, if she is already setting it in the same direction that it's been red coring.
Yeah. Not pendulum swing. Unfortunately, the strike after wasn't perfect. And nice core flip again. The Aeronator not enough to secure. Great clear there. Great layering from Rabies and Rejet there. The double R's on that one. Brando, unfortunately, not able to get the strike war from Asianator, but does get the flip from him. Wolfman with the the open form primary as well, trying to get it in this corner here. Finally does get in that corner, wins the strike war. Asianator playing all the way up as well, looking to get some stuff done. Butching Beam sends it straight through Brando. Brando trying to get the kill, but Asianator not damaged enough, not close enough to the edge. Barrier will still go down. The Rabies finds a really nice angle on the bottom side. Reject going forward with the core flip. Token Fortress comes out and backfires.
Oh no.
Shot though not getting the connection onto Dubu. Does not get the hits done. Reject countered by a core flip, but the log comes out. Rabies gets the pickup. Bewitching Beam sends Brando off the edge. The Crystal Thorns with the dribble, the piercing shot as well. Rejet trying to get it up to the top here. Great hook onto Wolfman. Stuns him, makes sure that he cannot get the return. Juliet's back on the field in 3 seconds. Will it matter? Yes, it will. Great clear by Rejet, down to buy a little bit more time. Wolfman finds the angle to the bottom. Nice play from Flash's progeny to take another set.
Yeah, and one thing that was very crucial there, and I'm not sure if it was intentional, was Wolfman actually faking out Rejet's strike. He struck first, he was not in the core's range. Rejet struck thinking that the core would come to her, and it forced her to have to flip when Wolfman was ready to hook it and make the next play.
Beautifully done by Wolfman. Maybe not intentional, but it worked out pretty well, so whatever the case. That is going to be a Might of the Colossus deny, though, which is really sad on Era. Doesn't love that one, but it's better than it being on Rasmus.
Yeah, definitely. But the Rasmus having Twin Drive may be a little scary, but it's also a great deny away from the Kazan. Kazan still gets Quick Strikes, though. And this Quick Strikes Kazan has not really been in any real threat of actually dying. A lot of the damage has been kind of coming on other different people, but it's a Stell Julie. How much damage are you realistically going to have with that if it's not a damage start?
Yeah. That is going to be a great find by Rabies there. Butching Beam sends it backwards. Great clear by Asianator with the actually there. But Wolfman looking for a double, only finds one. Good defense there. Brando playing back as well. Pitching shot gets it forward. Butch Beam hits 2. Really good value on that ability, but not value enough if you're going to die afterwards. Great find by Brando with the extra dash range. Arrow was not expecting that one. Brando passes up to Rabies with Black Hole fouls. Swing is able to get secure on that one. Black Hole dribble Brando with the flurry as well, but they're not able to get the secure onto the barrier just yet. Rejet bouncing along the bottom. Rabies as well trying to get the clear, but Wolfman is just on top with these quick strikes as well. Cliff setting it up to the bottom, intercepted by Brando. Just they cannot get it past each other. They're dueling. Brando gets the Kazan off the map.
Yeah, I mean, they're finding the KOs, and this might actually just be their win con, right? Look for the KOs with Julie, right? Because this Julie has Super Surge, Spark of Strength, and Bulk Up, which is actually a little bit scary, and if they're finding them, then maybe that's their win con. And despite that, there's a 3 which Asianator and Wolfman still managed to find. Plays nearly finds that goal there, and it goes to the opposite side. They need to be a little wary of Brando's flip, but Rejet even send this. It goes to the bottom side. Flip burned out by Brando, goes to the opposite side. Asianator finding the clear, tries to send it up, down, and Rabies contains it. Brando contains it. Second barrier found as Rejet sends it forward, and we maybe have a moment of respite, but it's still in this corner.
Yeah, Pendulum Swing as well gets it forward. Deep for time. We're red coring all over the place. The core flip comes out, sends it forward, intercept Cliff. The death touch is really nice. Catches with a piercing shot, did not. gets to Cliff in the end. It's back over in Wolfman's court. Can he do something with it? He did use the crooked leverage. He does not find the strike into the top there. Countered by Rejet. Whiplash as well is really nicely done. The Aranado not getting the connection. Crystal Thorn's court flip, the witching beam. And that's going to be Era taking the goal there. Nice fake out and nice secure on that one. A lot of close moments, but Foodash's progeny are not letting this one slip.
Admittedly, that's the first time I've actually seen that work, where you core flip the witching beam, but it worked really well, and I'm honestly down to see more of this stuff from Foodash's progenies. Wolfman needs to be careful. He lives there and takes one barrier, tries to look for the pass down. Instead, it's a double barrier found by Rejet, and now we have the members of Jet's Puppy Girls maybe looking for an answered point here.
Yeah, being that one barrier up is such a massive load of stress off your shoulders. You have the advantage, you have room for a mistake. You can go for some flashier plays, use a few more abilities. Just a world of difference on that one. Progeny has solid control of the core overall. The hook, the log, though, not going to be too useful in that situation. That gives a little bit more momentum to the side of Jet's Puppy Girls. Rabies down to Rejet. Rejet going for the whiplash play here with the extra speed on that one, playing super far up as the goalie, and Brando finds a strike dash punch combo to secure it, but I think just the strike was enough there. Yeah, nicely found on the angle.
Really great play by Brando there. Unfortunately, a player like Lemon wouldn't be able to find that. Lemon's a noob. And well played by Jet's Puppy Girls, honestly, as they tie it up in set 3.
Rabies, beautiful play there to keep it on the court, but good defense as well from Asian to prevent the barrier from going down. And that would be Brando going off the map. The Aranado gets a solid connection onto Juliet. The Tofu Fortress gets it around as well. No Sad Boys angle here. And Rejet's a little about that. Oh, does find almost a double. Not quite the perfect angle. Sometimes pretty good, especially with the strike after the whiplash, but too much pressure. Brando gets onto the field just in time to see the goal get scored. And that puts Foodash's progeny on match point.
I will say insanely well played by Rejet. Thing is that Cliff and Wolfman were set up in such a position where even if Rejet plays that perfectly, it's near impossible to actually clear that unless Wolfman and Cliff make a mistake.
Yeah, and they did not make a mistake on that one. Barry goes down at the top as well. Piercing shot, countered by a core flip. Cliff on the bottom here gets his own core flip, but countered as well. Piercing shot is really nice. Secures a barrier. Brando with the flurry, but it's not going to be enough. Wolfman with a great dash hook strike there, using all of the abilities to make sure that the core cannot get past him. And that is an Aranado trying to look for Brando. Somersault as well. Brando's looking quite low here. Potential kill angle. Oh, but some great angle there means that the goal is scored. And Jet's Puppy Girls are, well, they're looking to come back. We've been here before. We've been here on the 2-2. But this is the chance. If they are going to do anything, now is the time.
Remnants of set 1, and I am so down to see close games. Close games are fun to see. I get to cast more. It's W casting. Okay, that's a double barrier. Not looking good for the members of Jet's Puppy Girls. Rabies, Rejet, and Brando. We need some heroics from the three of you. That's one barrier found by Brando off of that kind of messed up dash punch there. Second barrier found by Rabies, and maybe the members of Jet's Puppy Girls can actually take it to set 4. It's up to Cliff and Wolfman to convert in this corner. Asian are looking for a clear, nearly built up this flip, but Rabies that secures it, and we're going to set 4.
That we have a game on our hands here. We have a set won by Team PUP versus Team PP, and it's going to be Rabies securing that, of course, off that last goal. Really nice. A lot of things in this draft not perfect for Estelle. I mean, Stinger, 1-2 punch, Deadeye, they're definitely not bad on her.
I actually really like Deadeye here, personally, just because you already have good amounts of power on this, on Rabies, and you can actually look for some really sneaky kills, especially combined with Brando, and it looks like Rabies and Brando have been coordinating pretty well in finding their kills. You do have the size once again picked up by Era, leaving Castellats for Rasmus, all things considered. But Wolfman up speed is a little dangerous for the members of Jet's Puppy Girls.
Yeah, although I am a little surprised that Stinger doesn't get picked there, just on account of the fact that a lot of the players in this game can make very good use of it, and a lot of people have been low on health, where it would make all the difference. But that is going to be an Era going off the field. Didn't even see that one happen, it just kind of did on the bottom side. But it is going to be the power play here for the side of Jet's Puppy Girls, and Brando keeping in the corner, trying to get past Wolfman, but Asianators clears, layering as well with Wolfman, enough to stall it out. That barrier does fall in the end. It's going to be Brando securing the goal.
Yeah, I'm actually genuinely scared of Brando's build, right? Brando's build, bulk up, super surge, spark of strength, 1-2 punch. Like, this guy will just kill from anywhere, especially if he has a Rabies piercing shot on top of him.
Yeah, and these players are good enough that they can layer abilities like that. Rabies will see if that's happening and will be able to give the little extra oomph needed there. Reject not able to save the second barrier. Did get the save on the first one though, which is really nice. Rabies passing down to Brando there. Dash as well. The punch through, not quite enough. The piercing shot up to the top there. Rabies picks up the second barrier. Brando using the flip gets a lot of energy off of Dubu. The air NATO comes through, but Reject gets a great clear through it. Back into this corner. Wolfman's trying to get it through. Cliff as well down to the bottom. Rosewarp gets it forward, and Reject's playing so far up here, trying to make things happen. The core flip comes out from Julie and through the Dubu. What could have been very bad if that went wrong, but it went so right. Brando able to get that goal, taking a 2-0 lead for the first time. Jets Puppy Girls are in the lead in a set.
Yeah, Jets Puppy Girls finding that lead, and we do see one barrier taken back, but it means almost nothing if Brando just finds a single kill, especially on Cliff, who is very close to building up this full energy meter.
Yeah, great pendulum swing as well from Reject. Does find one barrier. Piercing shot finds a little bit of damage, but not too much. Reject trying to keep it in this corner here, keep it away from the barrier, but it's actually going to stall out. Really good delay there from Wolfman, hitting Rasmus, so he gets slowed down. And the Butching Beam comes out as well. Brando back to big size after that. Air NATO goes a little wide. The core stalls out for a little bit. Rosewarp comes through, and ooh, Brando finding the dash punch onto this Kazan. Cliff with the core flip actually whiffing, unfortunately. And Asianator does have the core flip, does have the defense, and it is actually going to stall out for a little bit longer. Kazan is now back on the field, and he's running forward there. Wolfman trying to get things done with the crooked leverage. Whiplash though, Witching Beam, every ability is being used. The Rosewarp as well, the piercing shot. Asianator not using this core flip, still holding on to that for dear life and still managing to get the defense. Is going to use it there really crucially, but did not save it too long. Really love to see that. Brando looking for the flurry, but Wolfman's going to find the kill onto Rabies. That's the opportunity here for that watching to score a goal.
So that kill is doubly useful, because remember what Rabies picked up earlier. The Orb Dancer. That Orb Dancer is reset. So now Rabies isn't able to convert with that speed nearly as much as she was earlier in these points. And I feel like that was also part of what allowed Brando to get into these positions to just fish for dash punches and maybe strike wars. He didn't have to focus on playing this ranged core control nearly as much because of Rabies' speed.
Yeah, but they are able to find one barrier. Piercing shot does hit two, but again, not a ton of damage on that one just yet. Whiplash sends it down. Rabies trying to send it through, but the Aeronator does get the counter. Rosewarp forward, so many abilities being used once again to try and win these wars. Brando missing the dash punch. That's a long cooldown on that one. It gives an opportunity here for a lot of aggression here. Wolfman getting one barrier. Cliff looking for a pass on the bottom as well, and Wolfman stuns up Reject just long enough for the core to go in. Beautifully set up and executed there by Pudash's progeny.
You know, it would be really crazy if Pudash's progeny just hit Jets Puppy Girls with the Puppy Girl special, which is just bringing them down from 2-0 to 3-2.
That would be pretty nice to see. Bit of a reversal from the last set there. The log coming out as well. The Crystal Thorns gets countered as well. It's looking good for that from Pudash's progeny. And the flurry does come out, gets one, but you don't love to really get only one barrier, especially the first barrier off of that. But that's a double by Wolfman off the back of it. Shot does stall it out. Rabies almost dying there from the Kazan ultimate there, landing down. Rosewarp comes out. The core flip comes out as well, tries to get it back to Brando, but does end up going all the way back to Reject. Rabies trying to get it through with the Crystal Thorns, not going to find it. The somersault gets it forward. Reject going forward. Brando with the core flip. Counter Fortress stalls it out. Not going to forward Wolfman there. Piercing shot stuns up Dubu. Again, buys a little more time. Rosewarp is not going to connect, neither will the strike. The players are missing a few abilities at the last second. The stress is getting to them just a little bit, but this could be it. Out, counter by a pendulum swing. Brando trying to get the connection there. The Rosewarp, or the piercing shot, not find the connection onto the core. Brando trying to stay alive here, trying to get something here onto Cliff, who is rather low on health. The Rosewarp comes forward. The Aeronator not cooked long enough, doesn't get the knockback onto Brando, but a log does find some damage, and the team PUP is looking very worse for wear here. Great defense by Reject, and as Brando finding the kill onto Kazan, this could be the power play to get to another set. The somersault comes out, the Tofu Fortress as well. The barrier, though, still standing even in the power play. Just 2 more seconds till Kazan is on the field. May have stalled it out long enough. Rabies going forward, but not getting the connection. Reject going down to the corner. The Crystal Thorns comes out. The thing is beautiful. The core is well forced out, but not the connection onto the barrier. Wolfman again. And that has just been so well executed by Pudash's progeny to secure that game.
What an insane game. And one thing I do want to call out that I think you may not have taken a look at, right, is Rabies actually with a very clutch evade there. Cliff was looking to flip and go for a shot, killing her, and she actually hit the perfectly timed evade. Unfortunately for Jets Puppy Girls, that was not enough for them. And the members of Pudash's progeny still managed to come out on top, but despite that, this game was definitely close even if you see the set score.
Yeah, I mean, it worked very, very close. The redirects on both teams very high. And again, even though it was one set to PUP, they still took us to the extra set, and they were so close in all of their sets. They scored 8 goals. That's one away from being enough to win.
Yeah. It was 8 goals to 11, right? There's only a 3-goal difference, and despite that, it was 3-1. It just so happens that 2 of those goals that really mattered were scored by the members of Kudash's progeny, and, well, they're going to need to carry that clutch factor into future games if they want to continue their streak.
That they will. But good games to both teams, and I think we're going to cut to a quick break there. Good games.
Good games, and don't go anywhere.